Have you ever struggled to balance being in charge while also being approachable and empathetic? Maybe you found yourself wanting to set firm expectations, but also not wanting to come off as unapproachable. Many of us have faced this challenge, and today we're exploring how to master it. Today we're diving into something that every leader needs to master: how to set boundaries that maintain authority without losing that personal touch. Whether you're managing a small team or leading an entire organization, getting this balance right is key to keeping things productive and making sure everyone feels good about their work. So let's jump in and explore how you can make it happen. So, here's the thing. Setting boundaries as a leader isn't just about keeping things under control. It's really about creating an environment where everyone, including you, can thrive. Today, we're going to explore how great leaders do this by communicating clearly, being consistent, and building a culture of respect. And we'll take a look at some awesome real-life examples from leaders like Indra Nooyi and Satya Nadella. All right, the first key strategy is clear communication. You've got to make sure everyone knows what's expected. No vague hints or mixed messages. A good way to ensure clarity is to use specific examples and regularly check in with your team to confirm their understanding. When communication isn't clear, people get confused, deadlines are missed, and frustration builds up. For example, if you tell your team to do their best without specifying goals or standards, they might not know how to prioritize or measure success. But when your team knows exactly where the lines are, they can actually be more creative and independent without worrying about crossing a line they didn't know existed. Take Indra Nooyi, the former CEO of PepsiCo, as an example. She was known for being super transparent with her team. She didn't just tell them what needed to get done, she explained the why behind it, which led to better engagement and ownership among her team members. This transparency made them feel more connected to the goals and motivated to contribute meaningfully. For instance, during a major restructuring, she made sure her team knew not only what changes were happening, but why they were necessary for the company's future. This helped alleviate fear and confusion and made her team feel like they were part of the solution. That clarity helped her team understand their roles better and work with real purpose, while also respecting the boundaries she set. Next up, let's talk about consistency. Boundaries are only effective if you stick to them. If you're inconsistent, it's confusing for everyone, and that undermines your leadership. A common mistake leaders make is setting a boundary one day and letting it slide the next, often because they feel guilty or want to avoid conflict. To avoid this, remind yourself that consistency actually builds trust. It might feel tough in the moment, but sticking to your boundaries shows your team that you mean what you say. Satya Nadella at Microsoft is a great example of someone who's nailed this. Master Jedi Knight, voiceover. When Nadella took over at Microsoft, he didn't just put rules in place, he lived by them every day. He set clear boundaries around respectful communication and made sure everyone understood that empathy was just as important as results. By consistently living those values, he helped create a culture that was inclusive and respectful. And finally, let's talk about respect. Boundaries aren't about control, they're about respect. Respect for yourself, respect for your time, and respect for your team. For example, a practical boundary could be limiting after-hours communication to ensure everyone has time to recharge. When you create a culture where people respect each other, boundaries almost set themselves. Think about your own team for a second. Are there opportunities where you could encourage more respect for each other's time? It could be as simple as making sure meetings start and end on time or recognizing when someone's putting in extra effort and needs a break. Another action step is to set clear guidelines for respectful feedback. Make it a norm that feedback should be constructive, specific, and focused on behaviors rather than personal attributes. This helps create a culture where everyone feels valued and respected. So, there you have it. Setting boundaries as a leader isn't about building walls. It's about opening doors and creating a space where everyone can do their best work. Remember, communicate clearly so everyone knows what's expected, stay consistent to build trust, and foster respect to make boundaries feel natural. That's how you keep your team productive and happy. Leaders like Indra Nooyi and Satya Nadella show us that boundaries, done right, help us lead with both strength and compassion. From Indra Nooyi, we learn the importance of transparency and explaining the why behind decisions, which fosters engagement. From Satya Nadella, we see how consistently living your values can build a respectful and inclusive culture. And honestly, that's the kind of leadership that truly inspires others. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, share it with your fellow leaders, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on leadership and personal growth. I'd love to hear from you. What boundaries have you set that have really made a difference in your leadership? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else who's on the same journey. Let's keep this conversation going.
Thank you for connecting with us here at Touchstone Publishers. Please join our group Essential Leadership Skills and share your leadership knowledge with us all.